Hi, my name's Becca Lewis, for those of you who have not met me. I'm the Director of HR. I have been with Central Power for almost 5 years, and I have been in my current role for almost 2. I have been in HR for 10 years. Most of you are used to seeing me at this meeting, but this year I could not attend because I am not allowed to travel. When you see this, I will have either had a baby or getting ready to have a baby. First, I wanted to take some time to introduce the HR team. We still have the same HR team in place as we did at this meeting last year. There has been a little bit of change with what their roles look like, which I will discuss a little bit later. We have Sarah Bullock, who's been here 2 years, and we have Morgan Perez, who has been here about 1.5 years. And then myself. Sarah focuses mainly on payroll, whereas Morgan focuses on onboarding and then DOT driver compliance. I will share some headcount numbers with you. At the end of 2022, we ended with 394 employees, and at the end of 2023, we ended with 454. That is about a 15% growth in headcount. So while it may seem we're doing a lot of hiring, a lot of that hiring is additions to staff, which not a lot of companies get to say these days. When it comes to tech specifically, in 2022, we ended the year with 175 technicians. In 2023, we ended it with 204, which is about a 17% growth. So our growth is matching up, is aligning with our overall headcount growth. As the company grows in admin, sales, support staff, the technician growth is growing as well. When it comes to terminations, I base this on average tenure. We all know that voluntary versus involuntary, there's specific times where maybe an involuntary or voluntary term was a little bit involuntary, but mainly what we miss when we lose people is we lose that average tenure that we've invested in them, grown them. So to focus more on not just the number of the employees that we have lost, I wanted to give you more numbers on the average tenure that has went with them for employees who were marked as voluntary terminations. So for 2022, the average tenure that was lost when an employee voluntarily left was 1.7 years. And then for 2023, the average voluntary tenure was 1.9. So while that doesn't seem like too big of a jump, it does tell you that we are trending in the right direction of keeping people longer. So if we back out the growth, with us experiencing 15% growth in overall headcount, I wanted to take the time to show how many of the employees hired before that growth occurred are still currently working here and their average tenure. So the average tenure for employees hired before 2023 is 7.19 years. And then the number of employees that are still currently working that were hired before 2023 is 299. So 66% of our current workforce was here before we experienced our 15% growth over the last year. I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the accomplishments that not just HR has had over the last year, but also we depend mainly on supervisors and employees to reach our goals, so I consider these shared goals that we all accomplished. During open enrollment, we actually had 100% completion of benefit enrollment before the due date. Just to tell you how big of a deal that is, last year at the end of the due date of open enrollment, we still had over 15% of our workforce that had not done their benefits. A lot less chasing for us, and made it to where we could answer questions more timely because we weren't chasing down people or having to do paper forms. Our workers' comp injuries, we had 22 cases for 2023. Not an accomplishment. Our workers' comp rating has not gotten better, but one of the things that is required by law for us is to report those injuries within 3 days. And we only had 4 cases in 2023 that were not reported in a timely fashion. In 2022, that number was in the double digits. So really good job, managers and supervisors, for alerting us timely of either an injury that could end up being a recordable injury or someone needing to go see a doctor right away. We've also updated the PTO schedule. I know a lot of you heard us going around at open enrollment explaining that we now offer more PTO at 5 years versus 7 years, and then at 15 years versus 20 years. Earlier I had mentioned that Sarah and Morgan's roles had changed a little bit, but that was one of our accomplishments that we had made as a team. We had set out to be a more well-rounded team, and for us that means not having to add a whole bunch of HR staff, but being able to cross-train each other and make it to where we can provide a better service to our managers and employees, and they can talk to anyone in HR about their issue. Now, we still have specific things we handle, but when it comes to basic questions, we can all help each other out, making the time less that someone is waiting on a response. We have set out some goals for 2024 that we would like to accomplish. First one of those is annual training in Paycom for all employees, not just training for new hires. Those trainings consist of FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act for managers, and same with the ADA training as well, which stands for Americans with Disabilities Act. This training is not to tell people what they are doing wrong, but to make managers more aware of situations that could be arising to where you can get us involved earlier and we can assist with that. The other would be harassment training for all employees annually, not just at new hire. This will be sprinkled throughout the year, so don't expect, March 1st to get an email saying everyone complete all of these trainings by the end of the month. We will sprinkle them throughout the year, so hopefully it takes less time and people can just devote 45 minutes to take these trainings. Also, we want to continue to improve our communication regarding benefit offerings. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the FMLA and ADA, making managers aware of situations that could arise, but also improving the communication with letting employees know to reach out to HR or letting us know we need to be reaching out to employees. When we have a situation arise, we try really hard to contact the employee and then go over all of the benefits that are available to them that they have enrolled in, that they may have forgotten about, and that they could use to help pay for things or use to make either taking care of a child, spouse, or themselves a little bit easier. And then we also want to continue to look at benefits as we do every year, making sure we offer a well-rounded, comprehensive benefit package that can suit all different types of family environments. So I talked about how our injuries were not great. They did not trend the right direction, which also comes hand in hand with a growing workforce and a newer workforce. But we ended 2022 with a injury rating of 2.44 and we ended 2023 with an injury rating of 3.1. So we would definitely like that to be lower. We are open to suggestions on how to do this. If managers, if you guys have ideas of what has worked at your branches or at previous places you worked, we're definitely open to hearing those ideas. One thing we are going to do and continue doing is reviewing those injuries monthly and then making a targeted safety talk that goes out to each location to address common injuries that we're seeing. So I want to end my portion by saying thank you all for everything you have done throughout the year and all of the communication that you have improved with us. Our jobs would definitely not be easy or enjoyable without you guys. And as I mentioned, you know, we've accomplished a lot of things over the year. We still have some things to improve on, but we are open to suggestions and really excited for what the upcoming year has to bring. Well, there was that one situation where all my... Well, I'm out.